why this ambitious military project was repeatedly abandoned, and how it found unlikely fame in the world of TV and film. Now, let's get this over with quickly. Fort Boyard is a fort located between the Isle d'Aix and the Isle d'Aleron in the Pertuis d'Antioche Straits, on the west coast of France. At the end of the 17th century, plans were drawn up for a sea fort that could protect the military base at nearby Rochefort from enemy raids. In 1692, the French engineer Descombes began planning the program of building the fort. However, once it became clear how expensive it would be, the scheme was abandoned. Vauban, Louis XIV's leading military engineer, famously advised against it, saying, "Your Majesty, it would be easier to seize the moon with your teeth than to attempt such an undertaking in such a place." After a British raid on Isle d'Aix in 1757, plans for a fort on Boyard Bank were once again considered. Though plans were drawn up, the logistical problems again ensured it was abandoned. Efforts were renewed under Napoleon Bonaparte in 1800. Piles of rubble and stone were sunk into the natural sand and stone bank to form a firm, flat base on which the fort could be built. To facilitate the work, a port was established on Isle d'Aleron. The village of Boyardville was built for the workers. The strategic position of this seaside community was in later years chosen as the site for a national naval academy and torpedo training school. The first stage of construction was to establish a plateau, some 100 by 50 meters, to act as foundations. To this end, stones were piled up on the bank. Workers from local towns struggled miserably to set the stones needed for the foundations. The changing tides made placing and setting the stones a nearly impossible task. This process alone was painstakingly slow, as work could only continue during the short hours of low tide when the bank is revealed. In the winter of 1807, disaster struck when these foundations were washed away by a series of powerful storms, and in 1809 construction work stopped altogether. The construction work of the fort will resume under Louis Philippe in 1837. It wasn't until 1857 that Fort Boyard was finally completed. Standing 20 meters high and armed with 74 cannons over 3 floors, the new fort resembled an impregnable battleship made of solid stone. Its oval design meant its guns could command a field of fire all across the surrounding area, protecting the harbor from any enemy incursions. It contained stores and living quarters to support an armed garrison of up to 250 soldiers. Even Louis Philippe did not see the completion of Fort Boyard as he passed away in 1848. Ironically, in the time it had taken to be built, increasingly long-range cannons had quashed Fort Boyard's use as a credible naval defense. For a short time the building was therefore used as a prison. The fortress was located far from the mainland and was good for keeping prisoners. At first, there were the convicted Austrians and Prussians who were captured at the end of the 19th century. Later, political prisoners were kept in it. The Fort Boyard was seriously damaged during the Second World War. The fort was used as a bombing target. The walls damaged by shelling looked even more terrible after the birds settled in the fort. In 1962, Fort Boyard was put up for auction. The initial cost was 7,500 francs. There were only 2 candidates willing to buy the fort, dentist Eric Earth, and a representative of the Fort Defense Society. The dentist had 3,000 francs more. He became the new owner of the fortress, paying 28,000 francs for it. Earth did not have the means and desire to restore the fort. Therefore, the structure of the fort was gradually destroyed. Storms, winds, rains, birds and people have caused a lot of damage. Tourists dismantled the walls as souvenirs. In 1967, the final scene of the French film Les Aventuriers, starring Alain Delon and Joanna Shimkus, was filmed at the remains of the fort. You can see for yourself the state of the fort at that time. In 1989, the owner decided to get rid of the fort and put it on sale, increasing the cost to 1.5 million francs. The building was purchased and finally became the property of the General Council of Charente-Maritime with exclusive exploitation by the production company of Jacques Antoine, creator of the successful televised game still filmed today in the fort and presented by Olivier Mine. Since that time, the reconstruction of the building began. The huge building was cleared of feces, which covered everything around. The thickness of the decomposed bird droppings reached 50 centimeters. Restoration work was quickly finished, and a support structure resembling an oil rig was built off the side of the fort to aid with the game show of the same name. In 1990, the game show began offering cash prizes for endurance challenges, and Fort Boyard began airing steadily across the world over the next 20 years. In many ways, the show was a precursor to better-known physical game shows such as Fear Factor. The show is still running today, and is the only way to get a look at Fort Boyard. You must be a contestant on the show to visit the island fortress, as it is not legally open to the public. Don't forget to give this video a like, share it with your friends, and click subscribe. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye.